Okay, so that's normally not how that works, but I'm gonna try to keep my prejudices aside. Hey everyone, Templar74 here with another episode of Poke Talk, and today's episode of Poke Talk is going to be my review of the latest episode of Pokemon Pocket Monsters 2019, episode 67, Suspect Pikachu. And I gotta be honest with you guys, this episode was a it was a funny episode, and I really enjoyed this episode, probably just because of what I do for a living. But that being said, watching this episode, there was a lot where I'm like, well, that's not how it works. What do you mean? And it's just one of those things where I have to remember that this is a children's anime, or yeah, this is kind of or children's anime, children's cartoon, kind of an anime. It's a weird niche with Pokemon. There's always a debate on whether it's an actual full-blown anime or a children's cartoon. I just say it's an anime because it's an anime, let's be honest, but that whole debate isn't irrelevant to this episode. Anyway, that being said, this episode, Suspect Pikachu, had me laughing for a lot of reasons, and that's probably the reason why I enjoyed the episode so much, but I'm rambling, so at risk of further rambling, though, let's move on to the actual episode. So the episode begins with Ash, Go, and Pikachu, and they are actually interrupted by Detective Decker, and Detective Decker shows up and tries to arrest Pikachu. Because as it turns out, this kid was attacked earlier on, and the sketch that he gave Detective Decker was basically a spitting image of Pikachu. That's what they had to go on, so they arrested Pikachu. Okay, so this is where the whole I got to put on the professional glasses here. That's not normally how that works. Usually when detectives want to arrest something, or in this case someone, they usually have to go get a warrant first, and they usually can't just go off one image. There's usually like weeks of investigation, and normally, fun fact, at least this is how it is around my area, detectives usually don't do the arresting. Usually that's patrol officers. Detectives can arrest people, and they do, but most of the time they usually ask someone like myself who's patrolled to come in and do the arrest. But again, that's just one of those things where I have to take the glasses off and be like, okay, this isn't my department. This isn't how I get that this is kind of an interpretation for an anime, but still. Anyway, Detective Decker takes Pikachu into custody to try to clear Pikachu's name. Ash and Go kind of are deputized onto the force to try to figure out what happened. Again, that's not how that works either. Um, Funny story enough. Uh, Normally, in order to become a police officer, you have to go through like months of training, and yeah, it doesn't work like that anymore. It used to be a long time ago that maybe a sheriff could come by and deputize somebody, and they still can, but that's not normally how it works. So yeah, Ash and Go hunting down for the assailant that went after this kid, try to clear Pikachu's name. Um, it turns into a chaos fest, but ultimately the episode has a happy ending. Um, and that's basically the episode in a nutshell. That being said, everybody, there was something else that I wanted to note from this episode. Later on in the episode, we see Detective Decker, Ash, Go, Officer Jenny, and regular squad cars. That's not how that works either. Normally, and this is the way it is at almost every department I ever visit, detectives usually have their own cruisers. Usually, the detective cars aren't marked, and normally, in each department, certain officers can only go near certain vehicles. Like myself, being K9, I'm only allowed near the K9 units. I still can use a regular patrol vehicle, like if something happens to mine, but most of the time the K9 officers stay in theirs, the regular patrol guys stay in theirs, the detectives stay in theirs, and there really is never any crossover unless something really bad has happened, or the fleet, something's going on with the fleet and somebody's vehicle breaks down. Other than that, normally everybody has their own vehicles or their own types of vehicles, and they don't go near the others. But again, that's just one of those real world things that I have to look aside in the episode. Anyway, rambling aside, I'm over it now. The episode, like I said, was pretty humorous, probably just because of what I do for a living. I did get some good laughs out of it. Detective Decker did remind me of a couple of people that I know on my own department, but I'm not going to go there. That being said, everybody, I give this episode a 7.8 out of 10. It was a good episode for me. May not be a good episode for everybody else, but I found it amusing and I was laughing through most of the episode, and that's why I can give this episode such a high ranking, even though it may not be the greatest episode ever. That being said, everybody, those are just my thoughts, and as always, I want to hear yours. So, in the comments section down below, let me know what your guys' thoughts were about this week's episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was just there? What are your thoughts? Just let me know in the comment section down below, because as always, I enjoy hearing from you. As always, everybody, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.